Hi there YouTube, how you all doing? Just on my way home from my mates, and there's a funny story I wanted to share with you about when I started to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Just up this road here. Considering my mates is just around the corner from here, it's a perfect chance on the way home just to quickly show you. I know the object that was hit is gone, but I can still show you. One of my mates lived just up here on this left hand bend, just on the corner, and we were around there, and one of my mates had a little what was it? It was a AR50, and he used to teach us how to ride a motorbike in this road. So we're learning how to ride a geared bike in this road, and just here, I don't know if you can see it from here, but I'm going to pull up to it. Just this little square here, this white square, that used to be a payphone, and I think the lamppost was there, I'm not sure. But my mate let my other mate, who lives on the corner down there, have a go on this AR50 and said, drive up the road, and when you want to stop, pull the clutch in and pull the brakes. No, a car was coming, and my mate got nervous, and he full throttled it up the road, and he got to the end here, and instead of braking, he kept the throttle open, and he hit the curb here, and he done like a wheelie up the curb and hit the payphone, crashed right into it, smashed the front of the payphone, the little box that was in and that, smashed it up. And the car coming along, what my mate had got nervous of, offered to buy it for a tenner if it didn't work anymore. He said, oh mate, if your bike's knackered, I'll give you a tenner for it. So that was a little fun story of when we used to learn to ride. And just down the end of this road, if you turn right and go along, there's a BMX track, and we used to ride this AR50 on the BMX track. It's an off-road dirt track with little jumps and stuff, and we used to ride an AR50 on it. That was hilarious. That was so much fun. I mean, we used to have jokes on bikes. But anyway, that's my story. Now what I really wanted to talk about is roadworthiness of vehicles, because now that it's getting dark at night, everyone's got to have their lights on. And I have noticed that probably half of the cars on the road have got some sort of defect, whether it be a headlight out, tail light out, brake lights out, both, all of them. You know, there is a lot of defected vehicles on the road. Got a headlight out, there's another headlight out, and you just can't help but wonder, do these people know that their lights are out? Do they check that their lights are out? But as a motorcyclist, I check my lights every single time I get on this bike. Even if I've just been on it, I've just been to drop my mate off home, and I checked my lights before we left, and I checked my lights just before I left his, before the start of this video. Always check it, every single time, because you never know when the bulb's going to go, and when a bulb does go on my bike, I'm straight off to get it done. Same with my car, I'm straight off to get a bulb to change it. Now, I see cars going around with bulbs out, and I see the same car more than once with the same bulb still out, and I think, do they know, or do they just have no idea whatsoever that they've got a bulb out? I don't know. I'm not saying that as a biker we're always right. What was he doing? We're always in the right, because one of my mates had a bike, or has a bike, and he had no left indicator for months. Don't cut the corner, mate. Dickhead. Yeah, he had no left indicator for months. Every time I rid with him, I had to watch out for him slowing down and turning left, just because he didn't have an indicator. So I'm not trying to say that bikes are always roadworthy, because I know that they're not. I had my left indicator on the back go before, and I couldn't get to the bike shop for a new indicator because the cables were all knackered. I needed to buy a new stalk or either change the wires. But what I did, failing getting to the bike shop in time to get an indicator, is I took an indicator off my little brother's RS50, And you watch, I won't even see any now. On a general ride home, just earlier I see like 3 or 4 cars in a row with a headlight out. And I was just thinking, wow, can't even tell what they are. Can't tell at a distance if they're a car or a bike. Can't tell how much room in the road they're taking up, and it's really dangerous not to have a light, even just one light out. But then the other day on the way home from work, there was a car with a tail light out, and when he put his brake light on, he had a brake light out too. It's probably the same bulb, but what I'm getting at is why does it always seem, generally it seems that bikes are more roadworthy, although I'm not saying that they always are, because I know that they're not. But that's just what I want to say. There's just too many cars about with damaged lights, or even pieces hanging off of a car. Sometimes I see belly pans hanging off and they're literally scraping in the road, and you think, do they know about that or don't they? I would say though overall that bikes are more roadworthy, but then I know sometimes that they're not, so I'm not saying that's a fact. So, you know, don't take my word on bikes are always more roadworthy than cars, because they're not. You get some right banger bikes, some right bikes that aren't looked after by people who don't care about them. But if you care about your bike will always be roadworthy. Little moped mafia going on there, little learner bikes. Starting to rain. Why does it always rain when I break out the second camera angle? Oh, brilliant. I don't know if I'll use it in this video though, because it was a hell of a nightmare to edit. I don't know if anybody could tell me an easier way to do it, but Christ, synchronising the video was hard. And then like I'd synchronise the start of the 2 videos together, and then when I made a split, or I took a section of the video, then I had to synchronise the next bit, which was even worse than the first bit. The first bit I used the horn bib to synchronise it, and that was pretty easy to line up on the editor. But once you say I'll cut the video here and want to restart it here, unless you counted frames, it was near on impossible to get it right. So you may have noticed that sometimes cars were going past the front camera and coming out the rear camera a lot quicker than other times, because my synchronization was poor and I don't know how to do it, to be honest. But I figured something out and I got something up. But every time I use Adobe Premiere Pro, it uploads in 480p. I put it in at 720. I don't bother recording at 1080 because I do record all of the time. So it's just a waste of memory to me. I'd rather get a bit more on the memory stick, and 720 is still pretty good quality. So that's what I make do with. Yeah, use my squeegee. So, you know, anyway, I'll see you all later guys. That's all I wanted to really say. Bye bye. Headlight out.